Contradiction! Hello everybody, Zachman18 here. We are back with Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials, and Tribulations. Man, that's a mouthful. I don't even know. We are continuing on with the third case, the turnabout recipe, what? What's it called? I can't remember. It's something with recipe, I know that. And turnabout, because turnabout's in every name, is in every case name, so. What is this called? Recipe for turnabout. We're continuing on with the trial. This is our third and the third and final day of trial. They're about to call it off until tomorrow, but I don't think they can do that because I thought the whole trial system worked. It's only a 3-day trial. Anyways, let's go.
So we're finally going to see the Tigre on the stand. You almost got this case won out, Nick.
I wish I could agree.
Huh?
When I crossed him and Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the Tigre told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth.
You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying?
I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe!
What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair is standing on end.
Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot.
It's not a top knot.
Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kind of get wound up. Ah! No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I can get some prints analyzed for you if you've got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then.
But Nick, you still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right?
True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? It's gotta be that bottle. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Because basically the rest of the case decides on that bottle, so. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
Alright, here we go. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Oh boy. Witness, please state your name and occupation for... Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there's room for me down there too. Oh yeah, would you mind? What do you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? Ah, no, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What'd you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. Haha. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Ugh. Too cool.
Don't let me get the better of you, Nick.
Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no striking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you can give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the Tigre's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today.
Nick.
Alright, here we go.
I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up in business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lining to borrow cash from Tender Lender every single day. You just want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Oh, unless I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, please. Ah! What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins.
Lowlife, me?
Listen up, Smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000. And you's gotta borrow the cash from me.
That's one loan contract I refuse to sign.
And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you get tangled with the Tiger.
Ha! I love a good spectator sport.
Just a minute. That's really not.
This witness is, how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too.
Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You'd better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gotta catch my bus.
Are you serious?
The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony.
Are you serious?
Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Alright, so we better save here. We'll probably be doing a lot of saving today, so...
You can do it, Nick.
Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Oh, this is not gonna be good. Okay, that's too short of a statement to press. I want to try to stick to pressing on the long statement, so let's start with this long statement. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know.
You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is.
Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini?
She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather, sketchy schedule.
There he goes again. What the Tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder, so now what? Let's go for it. Mr. Tigre?
What you want?
If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, Wright, and you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately.
I agree.
The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too?
Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats who wanted to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please.
Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. Alright, so usually when we add statements, this is the one we usually press on. The day you was talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid before. Well, wasn't he meeting with him to talk about a loan that he was supposed to be paying off? That's the whole reason why, he said that's why he met up with him. So... I never saw that kid before. Meet with the Tiger, so he did know about him the day before the incident, because this meet with the Tiger thing was actually on the day of the incident. So that makes sense, yeah. So here we go. Objection! Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, but it appears that Mr. Elg knew you.
What?
Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the Tiger, dated December 3rd.
December 3rd? That's the day of the murder.
So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg, because on the very day of the incident, you met with him.
Ha 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 ha! Not bad! Usually actually not bad!
Sorry?
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad.
That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember that you are your oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You just calling me a liar? Wait, is that what you're doing?
Roro! Wow. So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth.
Huh. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre.
Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness?
You never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. Alright, I just want to look through the evidence really quickly before we... Matches used for advertising found lying in Tender Lender. We found that in Tender Lender, so that could have something to do. Lunchbox, no. The flyer, no. MC Bomber could maybe come in place too. See, that was found at Tender Lender too. So we gotta, and we also gotta prove that he was the fake us. So, a couple things here.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn L. There was some lame guy with that name though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy in my office, Tender Lender. I waited around for him, and he ain't never showed. I ain't never even been to that Trace BN joint. You hear?
I think that's the one, because those matches from Trace BN were in Tender Lender.
I see. That all seems perfectly logical. We had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up.
I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you. Right.
Pretty easy. It's just a little bit of thinking. Because they found the wait, MC Bomber. That was found at Tender Lender. That was never found at Trace BN. We found that at Tender Lender, as well as the calendar. Or no, we found that at the thing. That was found at Tender Lender. That was from Gumshoe. That was from Gumshoe. That was from Viola. And this is from Trace BN that we found at Tender Lender. Objection! Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What you talking about?
We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant.
What?
If you've really never been to Trace BN before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You've been swimming around my stuff now too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Order, order. Oh, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said, but okay. I was at the joint that day.
What?
But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid.
Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenn Elg that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Alright, let's see what we gotta present now.
I was supposed to meet Wade the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office.
Alright, I want to look over this really quickly. Straight back to my office, okay. Open the door.
I see, you didn't actually meet with him in the end then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it, if I wait around here any longer, I am gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions.
Ha, no problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something relevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Godot, that's my job.
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call it guilty verdict, so do it.
Yes, sir. The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know since you's paying.
Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't actually happen in real life. That's pretty ridiculous. Alright, I guess I'll start pressing. We might lose some health here, so we gotta be careful. So the meeting wasn't due to take place at Tenderlander at all then?
The kid wasn't making a fuss about coming into the office. It's always that way when I want to talk about repayments, even though I got the best punching bag you ever see if there are any issues.
Maybe it's because of the punching bag that people are scared to come. So that's why you decided to meet at Tribulations. Ha! You're going over old ground again, Trite. Sorry. Wow, you just earned yourself a penalty. Now suck it down.
You will suck down the penalty, Mr. Wright, and you will like it.
What? Thank you, sir. May I have another? I don't know. An ugly scene? What do you mean? Are you serious? The witness has already told us, Trite, which makes that question irrelevant. But I limit myself to 17 cups of coffee during a trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you take a penalty, Trite, or your guts will look like the inside of a chimney! What the hell? Guess I'm gonna make that special express after all. Alright, I'm saving. So something... The joint... that on that last statement.
So to recap, this ugly scene you saw was...
Only though the joint I saw one ugly scene. So let's take a look at the actual layout of the thing for a second. Open the door. Wait a second. The entrance is right there. He wouldn't have that part is blocked off right there. He wouldn't have seen it yet as soon as he walked in the door. Oh man, that's gotta be it. Objection! You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. Yeah, we got that right. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this.
Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition.
Why, that's true.
Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him! Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elk, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade.
That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer impersonating the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elk, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court.
It's gotta be the person who's on the witness stand right now. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it.
What? Well, witness. Ah, ha, ha. Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone.
Perhaps I can end this embarrassment.
Mr. Godon.
Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no. The Siri girl brought me a Javicino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She's very conspicuous. She put some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee.
Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee.
Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha. Found your pen at last, Wright. It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind.
Yes, your point, Mr. Wright.
I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an impostor as well?
The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconsciously immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed?
Alright, who was it? Nobody on this page. Because Maya was the waitress after it actually happened. So it's someone other than Maggie. She doesn't have anything to do with it. It could be Viola. That's the only person that's left on here that could actually be her. And she was there in the kitchen too when we found her.
Who is this woman?
Her name is Viola Cadavrini. She's an employee of Tender Lender.
You was making a big mistake. You know who Viola's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Rick.
Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following.
Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh.
Haha. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There is only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, was you!
Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about?
You's got it all wrapped up nice, alright? But you's missed out one really important thing.
But that can't be.
I was in Detroit that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him. You see her? What? Do you really expect us to leave you now, Mr. Tigre?
Huh. What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony.
Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at 3 p.m. between yourself and the victim? Yeah, I loaned out cash, about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won, $500,000. He got lucky, you know. Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over. Now I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Ugg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you just got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal.
And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case.
His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Alright, so we gotta be really specific here. Okay, that seems okay. That's small. That's small. What did she do? I don't know exactly. What does he mean what she did? I don't know what she did. She was just a waitress. The waitress, you mean?
The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little on this. What exactly are you implying the defendant did?
How about you go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad, she poisoned Elk's coffee.
Oh, sorry. A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre. Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, Wright.
Though I don't exactly agree with some of the deals I send down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split. I see.
Your Honor. The witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee.
I concur, Mr. Godot. You will amend your testimony accordingly, witness. Ha ha ha. So that's what you was after, Phoenix Wright.
The Tigre's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only going to damage our case. What do you mean things would have been over and done with?
Are you all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. I was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim.
Alright, we're going to save at this point.
Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like it amended?
Let's have it amended. We gotta have it changed somehow. I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended.
Very well. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please.
Okay, so this is what we gotta do. I was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. That's for Viola. Oh, this is worth millions of dollars. Oh, and maybe that has something to do with her medical papers too, because that's $1 million too. So we could have been out after that, since that thing is worth millions of dollars. That's got to be it. That's way more than 100,000. That's for sure. Objection! So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. L owed you, correct?
I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were after.
Objection!
What are you getting at, Wright? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch.
What is that?
A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber.
A computer virus? What does one of those do?
A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer.
A computer? What does one of those do?
I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market.
Several $1 million?
Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial.
What?
Glenn Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection!
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. And that's got to do with those medical papers.
It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million?
To pay off the medical papers. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic incident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young man was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery.
Where did you get all this info?
These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full.
$1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs.
Huh. No one would pay a bill like that. The medical association got wind of it. The hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it.
Order! You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright?
Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt. Man, we are rocking. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glenn Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, neither can I. The lottery win? Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD, at least no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Elg and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Cudo. Like I said, Wright, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept out of it. But Mr. Armstrong knew all about it. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
Order! Silence or I will clear the courtroom. You've put on a good show, Spiky. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid created a witness and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
I agree.
What?
Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out.
What? Another one, Mr. Wright?
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? He pretended to be us, from what we knew at the beginning, and he used this paper badge.
What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone can be fooled by such a childish imitation.
Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me.
What? That's
the truth.
But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen.
Objection! Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him?
Hey, forget him.
Oh my God!
Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
How do you know pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court we deal with people's lives.
Mr. Godot is right.
Your Honor,
Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand out a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it.
No!
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
We've come so far.
You say he impersonated Glenell. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ah!
Ha! Sucks to be you, Wright. Don't mess with the Tigre, you're gonna get mauled, you've got that?
All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit, but I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha! Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook.
This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre.
But we still got that bottle for Gumshoe. Yeah! Perfect timing!
Your Honor, sir!
Wait!
Detective
Gumshoe!
Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this, too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What?
Haha! Oh, we're back in the lobby.
Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab.
The results?
About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle.
Oh, so do you know who the prince belongs to now?
Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So tell us. There's a fact to the Tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigre's paw prints, all right.
That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now.
Huh? What? Why not?
What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the Tigre put poison in Glenn Ellick's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now.
I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This is our last chance to help Maggie, and I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe?
Maggie!
You've been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it, and I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now.
Detective Gumshoe, wait!
He's gone.
Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick?
I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Alright. We're gonna have to use it somehow. It's about to go down.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
I'm trying to do a recess so you can prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered.
Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Wright. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste.
How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before, but you lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright.
Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit.
Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court.
This is the defense's final piece of evidence.
Isn't that the victim's...
Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre.
What? Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information?
Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark.
My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle, is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway?
A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Saving. I totally forgot about it. I'm glad I remembered. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... cyanide. This is the bottle containing the potassium cyanide.
Potassium cyanide?
The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
Ah! You make a good clown, you know that.
What?
Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. Yous just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the Tiger?
A bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it.
No, no. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in.
Don't mess with the Tiger, or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle is brown and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it.
Got him. At last.
What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle...
Is this the bottle you're referring to? Ha ha! He just confessed to it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy-looking suit fool you, people. That lawyer's just playing games.
Tell him, Goda.
Tell him, Goda. Tell that guy where to go.
You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you just said?
What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
You don't know who you's messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Oh my God. Jesus. Holy crap.
What's going on? Looks like a blackout.
Well done, trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch your caged prey. Sucker! I'm going to jail, bro.
Right? You caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. The prosecution will be sure to take care of Mr. Tigre, won't you, Mr. Godot?
He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor.
Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney.
Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the Tiger made one mistake.
Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Here, Tigre is a truly frightening criminal.
The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot.
Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird,
not guilty! Woohoo! And that's the end of the third case of Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Oh, that case was so Oh. That was exhausting.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Maggie.
I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him.
Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the Tigre.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait.
Detective Gumshoe.
Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh, well, Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle.
That wasn't even any use.
But
It's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie, you know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you with all of this.
I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. It's got to be that lunchbox that he's been wanting to give to her for such a long time. Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom.
That's
a present from Detective Gumshoe made with a ton of love.
You said you lost weight and he was worried about you.
Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies. You know.
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay if I eat this now?
Haha. Sweet.
So how is it, Maggie?
It's really good.
I'll wait to answer the phone. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. My phone's being really weird today, I don't know why. That's awesome. Yeah! Episode 3 recipe for turnabout. The end. Hold on, let me just go pick up an answer. Okay, a brand new episode has been added. So we go from recipe for turnabout to turnabout beginnings. Ooh. That'll be a cool one. Alright, so tomorrow we will start the 4th case of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. That's pretty cool. We got Maya in her waitress outfit with the poison and Maggie on the ground. Awesome. Alright, so tomorrow we will start episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings on Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you guys in my next video coming soon. Objection!